The recent BlackSuit ransomware attack started with a simple trick, a fake Zoom installer. Victims were lured to a cloned Zoom website. They thought they were downloading a legitimate update for their video conferencing software. Instead, they unknowingly invited cybercriminals into their systems. This installer, named D3F at CE Loader, was actually a nasty piece of malware disguised as a harmless program. Once executed, it set off a dangerous chain reaction, ultimately leading to a full-blown ransomware attack. This attack highlights a growing trend. Cybercriminals are increasingly exploiting trusted software and platforms. They prey on our familiarity with everyday tools, turning our reliance on them into a weakness. By the time victims realize something is wrong, it's often too late. The malware has already burrowed its way into their systems, ready to wreak havoc. The fake Zoom installer was just the tip of the iceberg. Once activated, it unleashed a sophisticated malware cocktail. First, a batch script swung into action, attempting to disable security measures and pave the way for deeper compromise. It cleverly hid the malicious payload folder and even went so far as to add the system drive, C, to Defender exclusions, hoping to blindfold the built-in security features. Next, the malware connected to a compromised Steam profile, a seemingly innocuous action that raised little suspicion. However, this was a crucial step in the attack chain. The Steam profile held the IP address of the next stage command and control server. This technique, known as dead drop resolver, allows attackers to obfuscate their infrastructure and make it harder for security researchers to track them down. The downloaded, disguised as a harmless inno-download plugin, proceeded to fetch 2 zip files from the newly acquired IP address. These files contained the real malicious payloads, including the notorious IDAT loader and an encrypted file named. With the stage set, the IDAT loader injected a stealthy remote access tool called Sectoprat into a legitimate Windows process. This allowed the attackers to remotely control the infected machine without raising any alarms. The attackers behind this BlackSuit ransomware campaign were masters of disguise. They employed various techniques to evade detection and burrow deeper into the victim's network. The malicious loader files were hidden using the command, making them invisible to the average user. Meanwhile, Sectoprat, operating from within the trusted process, blended seamlessly into the background noise of the system. To further solidify their foothold, the attackers deployed Cobalt Strike, a sophisticated adversary simulation tool often used for penetration testing, but increasingly favored by malicious actors. A Cobalt Strike beacon was injected into another legitimate Windows process, providing a persistent backdoor into the system. This beacon acted as a command and control channel, allowing the attackers to remotely issue instructions and download additional tools. With their toolkit in place and defenses neutralized, the attackers set their sights on their ultimate goal, deploying the BlackSuit ransomware. Using their stolen credentials, they moved laterally through the network, gaining access to critical servers and data stores. The attackers then downloaded WinRAR, a popular file archiving tool, to unpack the BlackSuit ransomware payload from a file named. They used a combination of batch scripts and the SecSec tool to remotely execute the ransomware on as many machines as possible. To make matters worse, they deleted system backups ensuring that victims would have limited options for recovery without paying the ransom. The BlackSuit ransomware attack serves as a stark reminder of the evolving threat landscape. Cybercriminals are constantly refining their tactics, exploiting trusted tools and platforms to infiltrate networks and deploy devastating ransomware.